Hello, all you big, huge souls out there. I wanted to come on this morning and welcome you to 2025. Here we are, we have arrived. And like you, I have been really being incredibly sensitive to all of the energies that are sort of lapping into the world and all of the world events and everything that's happening. It's almost too much to take in. It's almost um, as if you're getting too much stimuli coming in all at the same time. And it's difficult to process one thing after the other because the minute that you put your attention on one thing that you're sending out prayers for, that you're hoping for the best for people, and then the people that you know and the things going on out in the world, it just seems like we're inundated every day with some new world event that's difficult. So, in light of that, Aralamb wanted to come on today and sort of talk to everybody about 2025 and what this is going to look like for all of us, and also sort of where we are and what we can be looking for, and a little bit on how to handle this inundation of just energy and events and things going on. It's just a lot. And so, without further ado, I will have Aralamb speak to you. Aralamb speaking, Aralamb speaking. Welcome, everyone, and welcome to 2025. The reason that I had Melissa call this the third and fourth dimension is because 2025 on planet Earth and in the scheme of the ascension, 2025 is going to be the year when the third dimension begins fully and completely to merge with the fourth dimension. Now, when I say merge, it is because there is this belief among souls that the third dimension is going to somehow fall away and that you'll only be dealing with the fourth dimension. That is not exactly true. The way that human beings and souls on this planet are going to have that fourth dimensional energy kick in is that you'll still be grounded in that third dimension, but your own instincts, your own senses will begin to open. So it's not that you're losing the third dimension to go to the fourth, it's that you're standing in the third dimension, and suddenly, over the year 2025, it's going to be as if a light is turned on that fourth dimension. So you're going to start to be able to experience and see and understand this fourth dimension, which up until this time has been hidden away from mankind for most of you. So I would liken it to this, and I used an analogy for some people yesterday, and it's this. If you'd been living on the first story of a house for 100 years, you and your family, generation after generation, you'd been living in the first story of a big house. There have always been stairs in the house leading to somewhere, but none of you ever took the stairs to see what was up there. You just didn't. You lived on the first floor. That would be like the third dimension for humanity. But right now, in 2025, is the time where some one of you and that fourth dimension will start sinking down towards you and you'll start raising up toward it so that the whole of humanity will begin to move up those stairs in that house, suddenly come to the realization that there's a whole second floor. There's a whole nother way of being. There's a whole nother level of energy. So while you're very grounded in the third dimension on Earth, you won't lose the ability to be in the third dimension and move through the third dimension. What you're all going to do is gain the ability to see and move through the fourth dimension. Do you see? So it's that you're adding the ability to see that. Now, while that's happening, as I have spoken of many times before, still Aralamb speaking, while that's happening, you are going to find that everything that is dark and hidden on the planet in the third dimension must come up. Because the way that the fourth dimensional energy pouring into Earth now is affecting everything is that it's being more and more difficult, even in the third dimension, to have hidden untruth. Right? So this would be personally in your own life. It would be within your relationships. It would be within governments. It would be within religions. It's going to be across the whole of the planet. So as all of you and the planet begin to open to that fourth dimensional energy, it's going to force all of the darkest energy on the planet Earth out and up. This is why through 2025, and Melissa mentioned it, there's going to be a kind of a zeitgeist of information. Much is going to come up over and over and over. And even in the first 2 weeks of this new year for many of you, this turning of the calendar, this turning into the 2025 year, there has been one thing after the other. And it's not just in your country, it's in any country that you look at. Everything dark is coming up. 2025 is going to be that year when everything dark continues to come up. But the beautiful piece of this, still Aralamb speaking, is that although you're going to have to stand and bear witness to everything dark coming up, while that's happening, that fourth dimensional knowledge is also going to be opening to you, which is going to give you much stronger incentives to be prayer warriors, to meditate, to grow, to heal yourselves, to help others. That fourth dimensional energy is going to be a kind of a bulwark for everyone, because you'll have something very positive to start to see coming onto the planet while the negative is leaving. So understand, you won't be leaving the third dimension. You'll simply be bringing it with you to that next fourth dimension. It's an opening, right? Those species in the universe who are fifth dimensional beings and sixth dimensional beings understand they never left behind the fourth and the third. They simply added to what they could experience. They added to their knowledge spiritually, technically, scientifically, all of it. That's where humanity is now on planet Earth. So understand that as things keep coming at you, as events happen, as things come to light. Everything's coming to light. Everything's coming to light. This particular year for planet Earth is going to be the year when everything finally comes up. Melissa often says the wheels are falling off. This is the year for humanity that not only are the wheels going to come off, but everything about the machinery is going to fall down and be rebuilt. It has to be. But that fourth dimensional energy, it's highly healing. It's highly intellectual. It's highly spiritually connected. So whatever your spiritual gift says, well, that fourth dimensional energy is going to be opening them for you. So keep that in your mind. Keep that piece of it in your mind, because ultimately it's all positive. Okay, so that was Aralamb speaking. So it's so interesting because he did talk to somebody yesterday about the idea that there's this belief that we sort of are going to ascend into the fourth dimension and leave the third dimension behind. But what it actually is that we get to keep and rebuild everything that we love about the third dimension, right? There are three-dimensional things and objects in your life that you love, and some things we want to keep as a species. But what's gorgeous about, and I use the word gorgeous because I love the word gorgeous, but what's gorgeous about this is that we aren't actually losing any of the good about the third dimension. What we're doing is we are going to be adding. As Aralamb said, it's like you're adding something rather than moving and dropping one thing to get another. You're sort of adding to that fourth dimension. The other thing that he said, and he did not say it here to you in this address, but when he was speaking to a group yesterday, he said to them, the other thing that you need to understand is that all of your spiritual gifts will become much more noticeable, seen, and powerful as that fourth dimension energy comes in. So that's also an amazing thing, because that means if you're a healer in the next year, in this next year, 2025, if you're a healer, your healing energies are going to grow. They're going to become stronger, feel better for you. Whatever your spirituality is, whatever your connection is, all of that's going to get better. So I wanted to share that with you, and Aralamb wanted to share that with you. And we are only 10, 11, well, today's the 13th day into 2025. But as much of a kind of a here we go kind of ride this is going to be, I sort of liken it to the whole world being at that very, very top of a roller coaster where the cart is going tick, 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 and you come to that place where you're almost stopped before you go down. You sort of have to take that ride, and that's really where we are. But it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, because the other thing is knowing that you're supported, knowing that that fourth dimensional energy is going to come in to temper some of this, to get people to understand. And also it's going to allow us all to be more loving and giving to each other, because let's face it, wherever you are when you're listening to this, you either know someone who's struggling right now, you know someone who has been affected by the events that we've just only seen in the first 13 days of this calendar year, here at least in the United States. So keep all of that in mind. It's like your positive superpowers are going to get stronger in this year, and you're going to need them, because there are going to be changes and there's going to be upheaval. But together, we're going to all make this work. We will. You all are huge, huge souls, and I'm so honored to be on this trip with you. All right. Have a great day.